Welcome. This is a video on how to maximize your focus.
You may know some of the facts I'm about to talk about in this video, and others may come as news to you, so stay tuned to find out.
So we're going to talk about the story. So it's the month of June 2023, and we're about to resume for my second semester of my final year. I've got carryover papers to read, main courses to read, and some mini projects from my main courses here and there. And then there's my final year project. All these needs to be completed before the start of August, which is when my exam starts. And also with the nature of my timetable, I was going back home in the late afternoons, around 3 to 6 p.m. depending. And straight away I'll be in the kitchen cooking up something to eat later that day. So by the time I was done eating, it's already like 7 to 8 p.m. I'm full, tired, which meant I couldn't really get into that deep study mode. During the start of this period, my sleep was also bad. And I was going to sleep around, most times around maybe 12 midnight, 1 a.m, 11, which was really bad. And then waking up, I had to wake up early for school. It was really bad. I wasn't getting enough sleep, getting up sleep deprived, which made me less motivated to do anything. I had to do something about this. I had to optimize my schedule to get more out of the time I was given. You're given 24 hours. You have to utilize the time you're given, the free time that you have. So fast forward to the end of August, and I just completed about 30 hours of card analysis for my project and got several A's in my courses. How did I complete such an academic comeback? How did I do it? I'll be sharing with you the list of things and habits I had to embody to accomplish this. So disclaimer, this is me talking about my journey to attain godlike focus. This is not someone else's story. I had to experiment some things, I had to learn some things, I had to unlearn some things.
Now that I look back at the way I was then, if I was to compete with my old self, the old version of me that just started to optimize his focus, I would crush that version of me 10 out of 10 times.
So I'd like to mention 2 books that helped me with this journey. First is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This helped me to build good habits and also break bad ones. And this helped me to know how to get deep into work, know how to get really deep into work and get really concentrated, know how to focus. So the combination of these 2 books actually helped in making this video. I think there are also some other books that helped too, but these are the 2 main books that helped me in this journey. So things I had to utilize: 1, coffee, sleep, presence, morning routine / ritual, social media, problem they face, boredom, no phone during deep work, monotasking, sugar and processed carbs, intermediate fasting, morning sunlight, educative distraction, acceptance, and breaks between blocks. So let's begin. Coffee. I think we all know what coffee is. It's a dark beverage that contains caffeine, and caffeine is the main ingredient. Caffeine helps to increase levels of alertness, motivation, and drive. In a sense, it might also possess antidepressant qualities, as consuming caffeine could boost motivation for work and foster meaningful social engagements, potentially reducing the likelihood of experiencing depression. So when you take coffee, you actually want to do more work, you actually want to go out more, you actually want to be around other people or chase social engagement. These are what the studies show. So these are the benefits you get, provided you're not drinking so much caffeine that it makes you overly anxious, because some people are actually caffeine abusers and not caffeine users. They just take, in fact their life revolves around caffeine. If they don't take coffee, they won't be able to do anything else. And then so some are addicted to it, some are dependent on it. Some people take caffeine in the afternoon, late afternoon, which is very detrimental to your sleep. So I'll be sharing with you the right amount of caffeine to take that will be safe to consume, that won't make you that anxious, because some people actually, like, even small amounts of caffeine makes them really, really anxious and they don't like it. What does caffeine do? So caffeine actually bonds to your adenosine receptors, Adenosine is your sleep hormone. So more of it in your system makes you tired. So this diagram here, this is your adenosine receptors. This is adenosine. So adenosine makes you tired. This is caffeine. So caffeine is shaped like adenosine, so it bonds to the receptors and blocks the adenosine from reaching the receptors. So it basically just blocks adenosine from reaching the receptors, so it keeps you awake, keeps you active. And then when the caffeine dissipates or gets out of your system, the adenosine comes back, and then that's when you feel sleepy. So caffeine just actually prolongs the time at which you usually will feel sleepy, or rather prolongs the active time where you're still awake, you're still active, but it's not actually giving you energy.
It borrows all the energy you would normally spend throughout the day and concentrates it all in the morning. So it borrows from the afternoon and then puts it all in the morning. So you become more active, you become more focused, more motivated, more alert. But what this does is that later in the afternoon, you may become a lot more tired and sleepy than you would if you didn't ingest caffeine. So that's the trade-off you get for the extra energy in the morning.
A good way to know the amount of caffeine to take that will be safe is your body weight, and ingesting about 1 to 3 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight is a good way, a good range in which caffeine has positive effects on your body. So last time I checked myself, I was weighing about 66 kg, and that would mean like a healthy range to consume caffeine is 66 to 198 milligrams, and what I normally consume is like 120 to 150. I don't go past that. And this information I got them from a podcast from Huberman, caffeine, the science and the uses. He talks about caffeine, how to use caffeine, when to take caffeine, when not to take caffeine, what caffeine does to you, all that. So you can actually check it out. I will leave the link in the description. Actionable steps. We want to do some research on the coffee you're currently taking. If it's a strong coffee, medium coffee, or a weak coffee. You also want to delay your caffeine intake by 90 to 120 minutes after waking up, to prevent afternoon crash. Afternoon crash is when, after taking caffeine way early in the day, and then the caffeine starts to dissipate from your system, and then adenosine just comes piling in, and you're just so tired, and then you need to take another cup of coffee. So, preventing your morning intake by 90 to 120 minutes after waking up helps to reduce the chances of you getting an afternoon crash. So consuming coffee in the late afternoon can disrupt your depth and quality of sleep. Yes, this is something I noticed. Even when you delay your coffee intake by 90 to 120 minutes, then you take your coffee early in the morning, early hours, it still creeps into the hours of sleep. Like, it's still going to be in your system. Some of it is still going to be in your system. And so the way you sleep, your quality of sleep won't be as good as when there's no caffeine in your system. So that's something to watch out about. So when something gives you something, it's going to take something away from you. So it's like it's a disadvantage of something and an advantage of something, which is coffee gives you energy in the day, and then so in a way it messes up your sleep. It messes up sleep, but maybe not to a large extent, especially if you're not abusing it. If you're taking it between the reasonable range, it's going to be okay, but it's when you're abusing that you're actually going to like notice how well it messes up your sleep. So if you want to take coffee, take it black, please, with no cream, no sugar, because taking coffee black, it actually helps you stay in a fasted state, which will help you focus more. I'll talk more about fasting later in the video. So, and then also, if you don't need it, don't take it. Normally what I usually did was during the weekdays I'll take it Monday to Friday, because usually that's when I'm reading more, working more, doing my project. And then during Saturdays, maybe if I'm here, I'll still be working on my project and all, but I wouldn't just take it, because I didn't really need it, so I just didn't want to overdo the taking of caffeine. So during weekends I don't take it. So something to note. So not everyone reacts to the same amount of caffeine the same way. Do your own research and experiment on it if you want to know what your safe range is. 1 tablespoon of instant coffee can contain 30 to 90 milligrams of caffeine compared to regular coffee. So instant coffee is the one you just pour water and then you get coffee. That's the one I usually take. Regular coffee is the one that you have to brew. You get your beans, you grind your beans, and then you brew it out with hot water. That's the one that actually has more. So depending on whichever one you're taking, you have to consider the amount of caffeine that it contains. So a lot of people don't believe in using caffeine, and that's fine. Focus is 100 achievable without coffee. So please don't quote me that you need coffee to focus. You don't. This is just a tool I experimented with it and it worked, so I just kept on using it. So just try it. It may or may not work for you, but it won't hurt to try. And something I like to say is that as of recording this video, I haven't taken coffee for I think about a week or two now. And reason why is because I just wanted to experiment on what it would be like to do my work or do stuff without coffee. Because yes, coffee is good, coffee is great, it actually helps, and it actually has some really good health benefits. But one thing about coffee is that I do not want to get dependent on it. I don't want it to be something that I have to depend on to work or to do anything, because that would be really bad. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to take a step back from coffee and caffeine to see how long I can go without it. Because right now I'm actually doing fine without it, but I just want to see if something that I can just stop forever, and then maybe even if I want to take it, maybe I'll take it like once a month or a few times a month, and then that'll be fine for me. So that's something that I want to do, because I used to be all about taking coffee, because it was helping me. I don't care, I'll take it so that it helps me. But now I'm like, after I changed my perspective and idea on it, I'm like, okay, probably I probably don't need it, so let me just stop taking it and see how it goes for a while. So I think maybe I'll make a video on how it went. Maybe I'll just stay for like a month, 2, 3, and then make a video on it.